Shalom and welcome today to Laugh Now, Cry Later. You're here with Chief Emissary Jay and
Prophet Levi.
and we're going to be here today, I believe it's episode 16, and we're going to be speaking about good versus evil. Now, it's been very hot. I pray where you are, you're enjoying this same wonderful weather. And just, again, giving thanks to Yahusha for many things that he's doing in our lives. And just thanking him continually for what he is doing. When we look at good versus evil, we've got to understand that in saying even good versus evil, there is no equal to Yahuwah. There is no being out there that is a challenge for Yahuwah. It's not that Yahuwah himself is, how do you even want to put it, in competition with any force out there. Everything is, let me say, under his control. Everything is under his authority. And we have to know that when you understand that there is nobody else who rules and has supreme authority over everything other than Yahuwah. Nobody else. He cannot be challenged. He cannot be overthrown. He cannot be made to do anything against his own will. No one can make him do anything, let me even say, unrighteous. In Yahuwah, who is the supreme authority, he is the epitome of everything good. Everything righteous, loving, caring. And that's what we have to understand. First and foremost in this, what we're going to talk about, that there is no equal to Yahuwah. Okay, Yada Yahuwah. Now, another point even in this conversation, which is, I think is really important, is that Yahuwah never created or made anything evil. Some people will say, oh, hold on a minute, this doesn't make sense. It's this, there's that. Yahuwah didn't create anything evil. We'll touch on some points in relation to that a bit later, but these are just some of the ground rules for me that people need to understand. Also, Yahuwah's love and his greatness is actually made abundantly clear by the evil that is present in the world. How do we know who Yahuwah is? How do we know how magnificent he is? It's because all the evil, all the wicked things that are being done, he is opposed to. That is not of him. And this is how we know. It's like if you have two children and a child is just hates their sibling, and they do all types of evil to that child, or their brother, should I say, or their sister, whatever it may be. But that sibling that they do all the evil against, all that sibling does, it just loves. Just has love all the time, desires the best for everyone.
Sounds like Cain and Abel.
Well, yeah, Cain and Abel, precisely. And that's why that's the first story in the scripture. Because it shows you... Let's actually touch on that briefly. With Cain and Abel, what's the message in that story? The message in that story is Adam and Eve. People will say that Adam and Eve didn't love Cain enough, didn't bring Cain up in the right way. This is kind of what can happen in the world today. But actually, what the scripture is showing, that they poured out lots of love into Cain. They would have. Just as Abel received lots of love, but you can see, even by pouring out love, based on the decisions, the choices people make, that can then condemn them.
Yeah.
I know there are many parents out there who pour nothing but love into their children. Their children go off the deep end. Can you come now and hold the parents to account for the children's actions when they've been pouring nothing but love? No. It's unrighteous to do so, because the parent be like, I tried everything. and what actually comes in line with the scripture, children, obey your mother and father so that what? You may live long, have a long life. It's in the scripture, yada yada. But again, I'm just...
And there's the obey your parents for all, for this is well pleasing to the master.
Yada yada. So just put it in my own words, yada yada. But the scripture says clear, listen, you obey your mother and father, you will have a long life. Right? You'll have a long... And it's even deeper than that, but we'll leave that for now. So back to Cain and Abel. People will look at, but Abel got killed. He died. That's not fair. That's not... How is that right? He was killed by his evil brother. But again, it's a learning. Abel didn't die for nothing. His life was given for an example, let me say, to everybody else, that you can love. Hold on, it's like Yahusha. Didn't he come loving everyone, doing the best?
Didn't do anything wrong.
Didn't do anything wrong. But hold on, did people want to kill him and murder him? Yes, they did.
And they did as well.
So even in that, when you know who Yahuwah is, when you know who Yahusha is, even Yahusha came down, Yahuwah came in the form of a man, Yahusha, and even Abel being slaughtered by his brother, Yahusha was slaughtered by his brothers and sisters in Yashara.
His own people.
His own people. So there's an example. There was always from the beginning, there was an example. But Abel passed from this life into the, let me say, the true existence, the spiritual world, the true, let me say, world that we will be in for eternity. He passed into that in righteousness. He was taken from his life. Why was he killed? Because he was doing what was pleasing to Yahuwah. And Cain was jealous of that. Didn't like the fact that his brother was pleasing Yahuwah, but he of himself had the same opportunity. So when you see that and you look at Yahuwah, you can pour love onto a situation. But if somebody is, let me say, making that choice to close their heart to that love and choose evil, that's what they will choose. And there's nothing you can do. You can't make somebody else love Yahuwah. But if your life is taken for doing the will of Yahuwah, you've passed from this life in righteousness. And hold on, does every single one of us have to die? Yes. So people will look at that and be like, oh, but his brother, beat him to death or whatever it may be. Listen, there are many things we go through, and there's a moments of suffering for an eternity of living in the presence of Yahuwah, because that's why we're here. We're not here to live in this realm for all eternity. We're here to do the will of Yahuwah, to do the best that we can in pleasing him, in worshipping him, and worshipping him in spirit and in truth, so that we can enter into his kingdom.
It's that scripture that goes, he who loses his life for my sake shall find it.
Yeah, and he who tries to save his life will lose it. When you know that your life doesn't belong to you, and that's again something else that we'll touch on, that your life doesn't belong to you. It's given to you. It's loaned to you. Yahuwah didn't have to bring us into existence, but he chose to bring us into existence so that we could know who he is and love him and serve him. And again, that moves straight on to being evil and unrighteous is a choice.
Yeah.
It is a choice.
Yeah.
You are not just evil because you were born evil. That's not so. It's what you feed, you become. What you choose to partake in, you have a choice. So lots of people say, I never had a choice. Listen, you will go through many things in life. Loads of us are dealt different cards in life. But the scripture says, if you seek him with all your heart and all your being. Listen, he will come, he will assist you. There is no situation that anybody is brought into, and many people are born into tough situations. It's just, it is what it is. But it's because of purpose. You all still have the same opportunity to do right. I know many people who have been, or in growing up, had terrible upbringings. They've become mentors in the community to advise people what they shouldn't do in certain situations. So ex-gang members, people who have been abused physically, let me say privately, you know, in that type of way. And they've been an ambassador. They've not allowed it to change their lives, who they are. They've acknowledged it, and what they've done is they've come into that space where they're like, do you know what? I'm going to help people like me. Because what I needed when I was going through this was somebody to help me, to support me. And there you see in those two things that there are many people that make the right choice, where they could go, they could become a horrible person, they could become abusive, and what a lot of things happen is the abused become the abusers. And it's a chain. You have to break that. So people are carrying around trauma and placing others. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that, oh yeah, you know, for some it's not easier than others. Of course it is. It's the way it is. But at the end of the day, it's still a choice. And we can't walk around in our lives, we all go through things, blaming your neighbour on your street or whoever, you know, you see. You can't walk around blaming people who've done nothing to you for what's happened to you. You know? So even in that, it's a big thing. And we've got to make sure that we look at things like that, especially being in Yahusha. Why did I go through this? Why did I go through that? You go through much trauma, let me say, to shape who you will be, to test you. Because when you come into Yahusha, you will go through much, let me say, testing, affliction. And it's to harden you to the darkness of this world, so that when you see the light, you're like, you know what? I've experienced that darkness. It doesn't go anywhere. It may be great for a minute, maybe great for 10 minutes, maybe great for a year. But at some point, the house of cards comes down. And you've got to pay for whatever unrighteousness you've been doing, whether it's through an illness in your body, going to prison, or just repercussions through life because of bad choices that you've made. And again, it's a choice. 5. What is evil? And that is a great question when you look at what evil is. And actually, it's very simple. Evil is going against the word of Yahuwah. It's that simple. It's all encompassing. And that's why we need to know what the word of Yahuwah says. But that is evil. It's going against the word, the instructions, the guidance that Yahuwah has given us. Going against it, that is evil. And it's that simple. And I think with that, actually, with going against the word of Yahuwah, the scripture says again, we will reap what we sow. Think about that. So everybody has access to the scriptures now. And if you don't believe, I mean, that's down to you. Again, it's a choice, isn't it? Coming into this world, you do get to a point, or you should get to a point where you're like, why am I here? Like, excuse me, have I just come into this life just to, get rich, get married, have children, get a big house, and then travel around the world and then die? There's got to be more to an existence than that. There has to be more. So, again, we're speaking about evil and good and what that looks like. Yada Yahuwah. So there's a Proverbs 9:10, and it says, "The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Quadash is understanding." And these things are very imperative. And when it even speaks of the fear of Yahuwah, what is it saying here? It's understanding who is actually fully in charge. Man is not in charge of this planet, this existence. Man is not truly in charge. Man is operating in the guidelines, the refinement of Yahuwah. That's it. Yada Yahuwah. And why are so many people perishing across the world? Because they're living according to their own will. Which is a form of evil. So many people will say, oh, if you just got rid of all the evil people, the world would be such a better place.
They're looking at evil as in like doing bad things and stuff, but
exactly. So now that's why you have to determine what evil is. And that's very important. Well, what is evil? Evil is transgressing the commands of Yahuwah, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And someone would say, but I don't know the scripture, I don't read it, so how can I be, held accountable to things I don't know? And I say to people, well, hold on a second. Because you don't know the law in the UK, if you break the laws, can you go to the judge and say, but I didn't know that law existed. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. And the judge is going to go, oh, you didn't know? Okay, don't worry, we'll let you off. They'll be like, listen, man, bap. Fine, 2 years or what. So what we have in this world is already a shadow, a reflection of Yahuwah. He is the judge. Now, if we don't know the instructions and the guidelines of what's being passed down from our Creator and how we're supposed to live, because we've not taken the time to look into it, because we're distracted by all these things going on in the world, is that Yahuwah's fault or is that our fault?
it's our fault.
It's our fault. Because again, like I said, if you go to the judge, you can't say to the judge, but I didn't know that was the law. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to take that or put that there, or I couldn't drive there, or I couldn't fly without a passport. I didn't. Okay, you didn't know, but you know now, and it's going to cost you £6,000 in penalties or whatever it may be. So you can't plead ignorance to what is there. Everybody has access. Yada Yahuwah. And again, evil. People look at evil as, I think you just touched on, you made a comment about what people think evil is. They think it's just hurting somebody, or evil is, again, you're told to do something and you go against it. That's evil. Again, just simple things. Don't put that down there. They put it there intentionally. Not listening. That's evil. Or let me even say, it's unrighteousness. Operating in self is the works of the enemy. Doing your own desire, putting yourself first, doing what you want to do is evil.
Yeah.
Someone will say, how does that make sense? But the scripture says, love your neighbor as yourself. Put Yahuwah first in all things. So it doesn't mean you can't have things that you desire to do, but it can't be at the detriment to your relationship with Yahuwah. Can't be to the detriment of your relationship with your brothers and sisters, the neighbor in the street, your colleagues. You should be thinking of everyone around you. Yada Yahuwah. Let's look at what Yahuwah provides us with, or has provided us with. I'm going to go to some scriptures in a minute, but I just want to give an overview. So, when Yahuwah created everything, did he create anything evil? When he was finished creating, was there anything that he created that was evil? No. It was all good. We read scriptures to affirm this. The Shamayim, the host of the Shamayim, the earth, the host thereof, it was all good. But what brought in, let me say, evil, destruction, wickedness, free choice.
Choices.
Yahuwah gave us free choice. The Malakam also, free choice. Where they could choose to obey or to disobey. Now, when you look at from the beginning, the first who fell, the enemy, Hashtan, because he decided to go against Yahuwah. Remember, Yahuwah does not do evil, does not desire evil at all. Yahuwah. He allows things that are evil to take place. He can allow things by removing his hand from things, because his hand is the hand of protection. But he of himself is not concocting evil for a people. And just to touch on that a little bit, we see in the scripture where Yahuwah speaks, this will happen with the sword, this will happen with pestilence, with this, with that, because Yahuwah is basically saying, this people I've been protecting, I've been looking after them in this situation, I've been helping, I've been calling to them and calling to them and calling to them. I've been the one, all this time I've been calling to you to come to me, to listen to me, to stay under my guidance. You haven't obeyed. So okay, if you don't do this, these things are going to come upon you. Why? Because when I move out the way, it's just like having a bodyguard. When I come out the way and I remove that protection from that's around you, what's going to flood in? The enemy, like a flood. Those unclean spirits, disease, pestilence, all these, they come in. And in fire, in anger, they cause all these things to happen. Yada Yahuwah.